Ward?
Only Ward knows that.
We don't know that, but we're about to start with or without. It's often referred to as the late board. That was very good.
With 15 seconds, 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6.
I'm okay.
And
Welcome, Ward. I'd like to call to order the Board of Village Trustees, the Town of Woodstock meeting for March of 2019 at 7:01. And I would like to start with any citizen comments that might be out there. Hearing none, we'll move on to additions to and deletions from the posted agenda. The student rally for climate change, and since I suspect some people are present for that, why don't we start with that? Does one of you like to address that?
Sure. I have copies of all of our permits that were not submitted.
And who are you?
What? Introduce yourself. I am Erica Crush. I'm a junior. And I have two different guys here. So you guys want to introduce yourselves while
I'm Abe Olmstead. I'm also a junior.
I'm Noah Anderson. I'm a sophomore at Woodstock.
I'm Sophie Leggett. I'm a junior.
And I'm Lily Holding, and I'm also a junior.
Great, well, welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to hear a little bit more about what we're doing?
We would love to.
So there's a movement in Europe called Fridays for Future, started by a Swedish girl named Greta Thunberg who skips school every Friday to protest to her legislators and demand action on climate change. Obviously, we're not skipping school every Friday, but there's a global day that people around the world are doing this, and it's this Friday, March 15th. And we basically like to join the movement by walking out of school and into the town of Woodstock and holding peaceful demonstrations.
Okay, so my understanding is you'll be walking down around the College Hill way, the back route into the village.
Correct, yes.
And who's going to be in charge of your group?
So we'll be the main people in charge. There will be several adult chaperones as well who will help to enforce all of our rules, but we'll be at the front and back of the group and then dispersed among it as well to help control everyone while we're walking.
And are you representing Change the World Kids, or
We are not.
No.
We are not representing Change the World Kids. No, we are our own group.
you're your own group?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm not speaking for the rest of the trustees, but for myself, I congratulate you for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's great when kids get together and young adults do something that their conscience tells them is important. And so that aspect of it, I think, is wonderful. I'm sorry that you couldn't work it out with your administration so that it could be done without consequence to you, which doesn't seem like it's going to be a big one, but nevertheless, I think it's great, and we do support that. In the future, know when you should be submitting these kind of things before the night of.
Of course.
But other than that, it's very important that you understand as you're walking, and if you are the herders, that people stay off private property.
Yes.
As you know. Our town manager has arranged some safety features for you in terms of ambulance that'll be present and police just to protect you. But you want to manage your group. I understand you may have up to 200 people, is that correct?
Numbers are a little hard to grasp at this time, so we're not sure. We don't have a firm count. Right now we're expecting around 75 people to march out with us, but it could be larger. Due to rain on the day, we reduced our numbers.
Well, good luck to you on that. Is there anything else?
No, I think Joe's going to explain
Joe's going to explain the safety features and the requirements.
So working with the fire department and highway department, we'll have officers on the village side and the town side. And if the students could leave out the school parking lot directly to Mill Road without going out to Route 4,
Yes.
that would, okay, excellent. We'll have a dump truck at the College and Carlton Hill intersections to slow and stop traffic. A police car rescue for the rear and one at College Hill and Shirtlift Lane to slow and stop westbound traffic. And with the route being College Hill to Shirtlift to Prospect Street, when they come down, it's just will be a matter of getting the students across Route 4 at one juncture safely into the green. And we'll leapfrog the cruisers to put the safety at the different intersections where they're needed, as opposed to just traveling with it. I think that'll be a safer and better use of our resources, because we couldn't get additional officers with a short notice.
Well, I think it's great that, Joe, that you've got that together for the safety of these citizens. And your hours that you put down are 11:30 to 1:30. Once you reach the green, what do you intend to do there?
So a little clarification there, the 11:30 to 1:30 is the time frame that we'll be on the green. The march will start at 10 a.m. from the high school. We anticipate to be on the green between 11 and 11:15, depending on walking speed. So that's a little clarification. Once we get to the green, we have arranged to have student speakers come to talk about climate change and their viewpoints. And then there's going to be an opportunity for students to hold signs and stay inside the green fenced area and just protest on their own, let their voices be heard with signs. And then we'll return to the school.
By the same route?
But
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion
Well,
or then discussion.
then discussion. Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the permit for use of the green and a public street for the high school students leading Fridays for our future movement event this Friday.
Second.
And discussion.
Well, I would personally like to applaud you on your efforts in this, and it's always nice to see young people and just citizens in general being active and trying to take charge of their future, not just sitting back and hoping that someone else will step up and do the work for you. So I want to thank Phil and Joe as well for pulling the police detail and the dump truck stuff together in such short notice.
Hear, hear.
Here.
Yes.
good meeting this afternoon to set it up. We had Ken there, and everybody contribute a little bit.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Good luck on Friday, and may there be no rain.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's your chant going
Or at least be 60 degrees.
Oh yeah, 60 degrees will help.
You need a catchy phrase.
We're working on that.
So this goes for any of
It is,
the trustees. This now puts you in direct opposition to school policy at Woodstock High School. I just didn't know if you had a comment.
Well,
It always helped to be on the right side of history.
I think the students are doing what their conscience demands, and I don't think that it's going to make a very big difference to their education. In fact, I think it's more important than missing one day of school.
Anybody else?
Well, the reality is, the students are going to do it anyway, which it seems like they were. At least the board and staff is proactive to do our part to help keep everybody safe.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And it wasn't without conversation for about the past week.
Good luck with your in-house detention.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks. You can stay or you can go.
And thank you all so much for everything that you've done for safety and everything. Appreciate that.
All right. All right, moving along on our agenda. Thank you for the Friends of Norman Williams Public Library for allowing them to go first, even though you properly put your permit in on time.
It was worth it.
Good.
Anyway, our business is far more important than environmental. We have a puppy parade.
Real puppy gas.
Oh, yes, your puppy parade. So how is it different from
Puppy
last year?
greenhouse gas.
No, I mean, our request for permit approval is sort of basic. I hope we're now a tradition that we have history. Last year, what changed is we added hot dogs. And it worked out fine because the electric outlet by the memory tree, it worked out fine. So basically, it's the same scenario. What can we do? And we did have a limit of 70 dogs. I mean, I think if it gets above that, it just gets too crazy.
Were there any problems last year?
No, but we don't want problems. I mean, I think the year before, we had maybe 75 or so, because people showed up at the last minute and they were still taking them, and it got a little, we probably had 80, and that's too much. It was
big.
Yeah, but last year was big. We have, because of the money that we've raised, we were able to buy a very nice audio bus system, sound system, so we were able to use that and plug it in on the south side where the ring is, and that worked out pretty well. Gary was sort of our techie expert.
And we also, it was very nice of the police department to lend us a sound meter. So we did
That
a
was
nice
fabulous.
sound meter check as well, and make sure that we weren't being disruptive.
And you guys, it was fun.
You're welcome.
Because
We couldn't hear you down a little further from you.
well, then you couldn't hear us.
Not
Well,
not inside my store. No.
Okay, good.
There
But you
couldn't
couldn't
be
hear
too
Gary right now. I'm like, but did people leave and come to your store?
Well, they always do.
They always do. They should.
Anyway,
So we basically, we figure with a 70-dog limit, it's probably at least 2 people, it seems, to average out, because some are families, at least 2 per dog, so that's like 140 people. Probably get any year, well, at least 40 people more. I mean, I would say the high end would be maybe there are 200 people in the green, but I don't think it's really that much. It's probably more like 175, which seems manageable, and it all gets cleaned up quickly. And we invite Lucy McKenzie, they come, the Vermont Therapy Group comes, and we set up a table for raffles, and then we have the hot dogs now, which works out well.
great.
Which was inspired when the year before the Woodstock Inn had done that for us, but now, now we'll do it, we can do it. Great. Got our own machine. Yes.
Cool.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I'd make a motion.
Oh,
to approve.
I'm sorry, it's the last Saturday in August. And we did debate, because that is the Labor Day weekend, but we thought we sort of staked out that people seem to expect the last Saturday. And if we lose a couple people, we might gain a couple people, so
You'll
keep it
probably
at that.
gain.
We
you'll
might,
gain a lot of,
gain people, but we might
spectators.
lose the connection with the rec center pool closing, because they would have a puppy splash after. So we'll miss that.
Well, Gail didn't know, we checked with Gail, and she wasn't sure they were going to do it anyway. So,
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I just make a comment? Maybe have some more poop bags in different locations around the green in addition to the ones at the town?
you would know that coming
I
back.
would know.
Okay,
I just know that a lot of people I was directing a lot of people to like the 2
Oh, yeah.
poop bag
Okay,
stations, so
so-
having more poop bags
We
did
readily
have some, but
available would be great.
we did have some filled at different places, but
I'll
maybe,
get you half
maybe
dozen
we,
boxes, or,
Yeah, we could have them at the registration.
I can't get you the boxes, but if you're gonna have a lot of volunteers, could pass them out.
That would be a
Maybe-
great thing if they have to come in and register, to have them
a
right
little,
there.
and maybe a
is
sign,
probably
maybe
a
some
really
little
smart
sign
idea.
there.
Little sign,
So,
yeah. Pick up
They
your,
may have been
No
out of the way,
graphics.
but it has been my experience that people are cleaning up after their dogs. The place
Yeah,
was
it
not,
just seemed like some people
they
were
had
just
gone
Okay.
really
looking
far,
for
yeah.
Thank you.
just where they were.
Good idea.
any
Great.
other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your permit is granted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you have a successful event.
Thank you.
All right, moving along, the police chief's report. Well, we don't have the chief here, but we have Joe Swanson.
All right. So meters, start with meters. The collection for February of 19 was up from February of 18. $8,386.25 for February of 2019 compared to only $7,803.75 for February of 18.
Any problems with the meters legally?
I think there's onesies and twosies, but they're overall working a lot better.
Yeah, since the batteries have been
Since the batteries,
nice, that's
I have a
great.
question, a really weird question. Do you guys ever, can you track how much money is being put into the meters after hours, like for people who don't,
I think they can.
if not, that's
For-
fine, I'm just curious.
I think I don't think I have it on this. I think Michelle can
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah,
But
I know in the
We
past,
looked at it once.
they've had them on the graph, they've had them on that chart, they've shown the like, because I remember seeing, you know,
Interesting, Sundays
a
and.
couple dollars in at,
Right.
8 o'clock in the morning.
I know I've seen some, when looking at specific meters, and you can look at the time that way, so I would assume there's a way to search for it. I haven't.
I know it's not Woodstock
Residents.
beneficial, which is the reason why I do it, but I stop people all the time from after 4 o'clock.
When I see them, I inform
I-
them
All
of
the
the
time,
hours, of
and
course.
that meant
And
that
if-
how many I
And
don't
if they
see.
don't, if they put it in, it's a donation.
I get what it is, but it's just,
No, I think most Woodstock
There's a
residents.
sign on every meter.
Yeah.
yep. Oh, no, I even say, I don't even know how people don't realize it, it says it.
Yeah, right.
Well, people don't
Right.
look at
Yeah,
signs.
horse blinders.
And is the percentage about the same? Is it about 1/3 credit card?
Um, 60, cash 65%, credit 35% for February of 19.
Cool.
It's right about where the split has been, right?
Slowly ticking.
Well, it's been growing, so we're.
Right,
it's growing,
right,
it's
by
growing
a
slowly.
Yeah, it's
percent
growing
here and
towards-
there.
Started
It's
out
growing
10%.
towards a credit card, yes.
Yeah, definitely. What else have you got, Joe?
So let's see, there was, in February, we had 3 DUI arrests and 2 fugitive from justice arrests. One was in coordination with the U.S. Marshal's Office, and they turned the arrestee over to us. We did the affidavit paperwork for the court.
Can
We'll
you
have
explain what that means?
fugitive
What
from
is a
justice
fugitive?
is individuals with out-of-state warrants that will be brought back to the state of the original charge. So the crime in Vermont is you're charged with having a warrant out of state. In this case, the U.S. Marshal's Office in Rutland notified us of someone that they were, that was on their radar, and coordinated with the chief and made that arrest.
So, yeah, typically they'd get heard the next day in White Junction, and then typically at least you confirm with the requesting state, and the state sends a team at cost to them to come
Come
get
and
them.
get them.
Or the state says, we can't afford to go get them. And they
Yeah,
don't-
Right, which is the concern
It
where they
is-
change their mind after they've said they
It is,
will do it.
yeah, I mean,
But,
It does happen, more
It
than
does
we want
happen.
it to.
Yes,
Right.
it does.
but,
it is,
I
yeah.
will know. But anyway.
I'm talking about other states coming to get people from Vermont, not Vermont going to get people from other states.
Other states have bigger budgets.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you gotta remember that, Jeff.
I guess that's still a thorn.
We'll have extra patrols on St. Patrick's Day for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. Our new cruiser's been marked up, so it's no longer all white.
Bill was gonna be doing the undercover vice work?
We'll just have to rent from Avis.
Okay. It's a joke.
I got it. I got it.
That's why we laugh.
Bill Luth is retired from dispatch. He's been replaced by Nicole Norris, who has been at People's Bank for the last 4.5 years. And she'll be training on day shift with Beth, and then after she's trained up, she'll be filling in on the swing shift on evenings and weekends.
On dispatch.
In dispatch.
Nikki. Oh,
Yep.
good for Nikki.
Yeah, it's a good move for her.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Good move for us too, they're hard to find.
yes, I think she's going to be doing some time at at Woodstock Home and Hardware also.
Good.
Officer Holmes has finished his master's degree, so we congratulate him on that accomplishment. I've been designated to the Special Investigations Unit as investigator for Woodstock. I'll be attending in May a forensic interview course to develop my skills.
I don't know if everyone knows what the SIU is.
So if I could, that was plenty on. So the Special Investigations Unit is a countywide team to include a prosecutor. There's an office that's run when they do their high. There's working with DCF, Department of Children and Families, and overall we investigate crimes against children and sexual assault crimes. So child abuse and sexual assault investigations.
Congratulations for taking that on, Joe.
Thank you.
It's important work, thank you.
Yeah.
In serious cases.
Yeah, and other serious crimes. Yep, very serious crimes. And Chief Blish has been appointed to the Vermont Council on Domestic Violence. And if you want more information on that, he'll be back next month. He didn't put it in his notes, and I'm not sure exactly what they are, their agendas are going to be. So it's the Vermont Council on Domestic Violence.
Got it.
And that's all I had.
Yeah. So 3 DUIs in February, that's unusually high, isn't it?
Yeah, our arrests are up 40% from previous years. Robbie was sending me some text earlier with some of the numbers.
But I would say not unusual compared to most of the towns.
Yeah.
But for Woodstock, that's high.
I mean, it's the same people driving through all.
Right.
It's I would not.
It's not out of, and it's not out of the ordinary for us to get 3 DUI arrests in 1 month either. It ebbs and flows, but.
And then there's a holiday weekend.
But arrests are up 40%.
And if people are just driving.
So it's like a lot of repeat offenders,
In terms of DUIs?
well, just in general?
Or with arrests?
With the arrest.
Some repeat offenders, but it's a lot of the motor vehicle crimes. But just in general, we've been busier with criminal complaints that require follow-up and with arrests.
Thank you, Joe. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Let's move on to the village manager's report.
I'd like to start by giving a shout out to Jeff because the village report cover that he arranged is fabulous.
Looks great.
And thanks to Beth who did a little photoshopping and brightened it up so that you can actually see it on you. I think it's the best one I ever remember seeing.
Well, it's appropriate to,
And it honors our new
who are
lights.
honoring the new lights. And
It honors the whole village streetscape too.
It does.
That's nice. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah. and I know that you're not in charge of the roads, but we all have to drive on them, and you more than most. It's really nice that patch by the rec center bridge is held up through January and February and all the rain and thaws. We'll do more on Route 4 this spring or summer. And hopefully that'll make it until the reconstruction in 2021.
I've definitely heard the most amount of, I guess, people just, sometimes in winter just have nothing better but to complain about things, but I've definitely heard that.
Water gets in them.
Really upset
They
this
just
year.
freeze and thaw. It's
Absolutely.
better than last year at this time.
Well,
It's hard to remember year to year.
I have to echo what Carrie's saying. I've never heard as many complaints
As this year.
as this year.
Yeah.
In the village, downtown
Okay.
section of the village.
I think visually, for some reason, it's really bad this year. Just the-
Over by where Max is
Oh,
just.
God.
Yeah, boys will be out with patch, someone.
Well, even some of the plowing, I know, for instance, the last snow in front of elevation, for some reason, they didn't take the snow out.
At the crosswalk.
Yeah, just before it. And of course, it's melting down now. I pointed it out to one of our select people,
Okay.
but
Who knows who they are?
The same
An anonymous select board person.
The memorial next to 61 Central Street, that patch on the sidewalk it's almost like it's never shoveled or anything.
Where?
Like across from Old Bear, the memorial, that lawn over there by the Legion, the
Yeah.
sidewalk, I would say that spans that lawn. It's almost never
You
shoveled.
think people are parking where they shouldn't because they can't see the crosshatch?
by Christian.
I don't know, it's always the iciest. I only notice because I live right there, and I walk, and it's like no one's shoveling it or,
But that's in the street.
no, I'm talking about the
Talking about the
sidewalk,
sidewalk.
sorry. I
She's
didn't mean to
talking about
say
the
crosswalk.
sidewalk.
The sidewalk over there is,
Okay, that's where
And-
we're,
I did ask Chief Bliss to
thank you.
give out
I'll-
more warnings
Yeah.
and actual tickets if people have already received the warnings, and he
So
has
that's the
done that.
Legion sidewalk. Always
that-
nice.
Or is that further down?
no, it spans the lawn,
The
but,
whole span?
yeah.
Well, also further down by
And-
the Optimist Club.
Yeah.
It's been terrible, and he's been warned, I know.
Yeah.
An interesting thing, though, the other day, I had somebody from another place in Vermont come in as a rep to come into me, and she could not believe, I guess that we've just had it so good in years past, that we're just, when it seems like it's not as good, but she could not believe how good our sidewalks and streets looked as far as snow removal,
Good.
which I thought was ironic, because people have said that when we're used to a certain way, it's hard to see it when it's not exactly the way that we thought, and the ice was so bad this year, which is not
There's a lot of ups and
anybody's
downs
fault.
temp-wise.
There's a lot of snow that had to be plowed. A lot of people who.
We got a lot of rain midwinter.
Tell me they see a dump truck by the road about every day, whether it's plowing or sanding or winging back. And it's hard to find the time to be everywhere at once. So we'll keep after it.
Yep.
And we will do some paving to smooth things up, at least until next February.
Great.
And you've got your financial report. I think things are in order. We're
Phil, with that,
two-thirds through the year.
Couple of questions on this.
Yes.
Under revenue to
Yeah.
date, highway revenue is zero.
Yes.
At the end of last month, it was 144,000. How does that disappear?
isn't that the Passover?
Okay, so this,
Yeah, but this is in the same year.
right. No, it should be recounted on both sides as a revenue and an expense. So you get the money in both from the town, actually, it's not town money, I want you to all know that. It's a village highway tax the village people pay to the town collects it. And now you get it, it's paid 100% to the town as a maintenance fee.
Mhm.
So yes, it should be up and on both.
It should be on both, okay, I'll add it back in. That was 144,000.
Yes.
Another question. The grant revenue,
Yes.
I mean, tremendously different from last month. Went from 12,659.90 to 252.
Well, a check came in
A big check.
for $230,000
That would do it.
to cover the state's 90% portion of North Street.
That explains it, thank you. That looked-
Lucky to have gotten that.
Yeah. And could you remind us of the source, you probably have in the past, but miscellaneous year-to-date revenue, what's the source of the miscellaneous income?
Quite often it's sale of equipment. I can look that up and give details.
Sale of equipment.
And Phil, where it says trustees,
Yes, for spending.
right,
Yeah.
that it went up $5,000, almost $4,500. What was that? And is that going to continuously go up until the end of the year?
It will be growing. It
And
says
what was
legal-
that, 4.5?
It says legal fees.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's it.
what is this one? July. Oh, the
That was like
date of
2
the
months
thing.
ago, yeah.
Those are all my questions. Is Carrie, any others?
No, that was just the one that really, I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
that goes up month to month, I
It will
guess.
from now till end of June.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
And maybe everyone else doesn't want this much detail, but is it possible that we can, I don't know, break out that police revenue? I know we put it together into one line. It's all of those, it's the parking fines, the meter coin deposits, tickets and contracts, all in
I
one
can
line.
probably email it to everybody.
Okay.
Do you think that the revenues are not from the meters, is not necessarily going up because of more people feeding it, but that somebody who would normally have put in a quarter for a half an hour prior to the increase is now going to stick in a credit card, and that's because that's the dollar is the
That's
minimum.
correct.
So it would seem like that's the
It's
actual,
got to carry over.
right, that just seems to be the only reason why it's actually gone up.
I think you're right about that. I don't think it's because there's a bigger...
More
More people feel like they should be feeding the meters.
No, I don't think it's because there's more people.
Right, right,
I wish that was the...
right.
I think you've got to get more participation with the credit card.
Right,
For
but
more
the
time.
minimum they can put in is $1,
That's right. No more nickels.
even if they only stay for 10 minutes.
Correct. That's true. All right, anything else, Phil?
No.
I have a question. What happened to the tree on the green?
It blew over in a windstorm.
Oh,
And that is a tree that was planted by the family in honor of Dr. Halley,
that's what I thought it
and the
was.
family will replace it this
Oh,
summer.
that's nice. Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh, so it's not even, hasn't been there even that long?
No, it was a young tree and it probably wasn't rooted very well.
Here's something I think needs looking into, and maybe it has started looking into. I reported this to Chief Blish. I don't know if I got back for you to hear about it, but the grate on Central Street near the bank, just past the
That
crosswalk.
steel sheet,
Yeah,
Joe's on
I
top of
spoke
that.
to People's Bank today. They have facilities management that the manager was going to email, and they're doing renovations, so they'll include that until they get it repaired and replaced.
within a certain time frame.
Well, I hadn't put, when I talked to him today, I didn't put a specific time frame on it. Certainly can go back tomorrow.
Joe's gonna put some notes in the calendar and follow up on it.
That'd be
We
great.
cannot go through next winter like that.
No, it's already the point where
It's
a
rusted
small-
on
a
three
small
sides.
dog could put one of its
Right, so,
feet right through it.
Yes, it's rusted on
So
three
So
sides.
it's the responsibility of the bank?
two
to-
cents.
Well, this is the story.
I mean, sorry, 2 degree.
That was a coal chute back in the day. So if you go down in the bank, you might think it's a vault, but it used to be a coal storage. And that's how they got the deliveries.
Ah,
So that's a piece of steel.
Yeah.
And I don't see a way to make it concrete because it's a void underneath.
Yeah. And if anyone's thinking of a heist, don't try it. It does not lead to the vaults.
So speaking to that, but in a different spot, so is TD Bank responsible for the one outside of theirs?
That is outside theirs.
Right, no, but I thought you guys were talking about People's.
No, we're talking about people.
People, yes. TD Bank,
There's a plate in front of theirs with a huge
That
cement, concrete gap.
that plate is electric
Uh-huh.
for the downtown streetlights, and that's highway. And I'll look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, because that one is the same thing, if anybody's.
Yes, that little
that
corner
one-
needs to be
It's-
new concrete around that plate.
Mm-hmm,
It's a new plate, but the concrete didn't.
it's crumbling around it,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
So, just for clarification, for People's Bank, is there a timeline that you'd like me to relay
I
Yeah,
think before start of summer.
before the summer busy season.
before summer, so Memorial Day?
Yes, before Memorial Day.
Okay, I'll go back tomorrow and I'll let them know that that's what we'd like specifically.
Great, thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Thank you. All right, let's move along. Anything under old business to address? If not, we'll move to new business, to renew the agreement with the auditor.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, hold on for discussion though.
Yeah.
Page 5, I actually read this, it's unbelievable. I think it should be, under number 1, the village has designated Anna Pitts, staff accountant. Should we change that to Zoe
At this point.
at this
yes.
point?
Yeah.
Phil,
Yes.
you want to let them know,
Yes.
please?
And number 2.
Because right now,
Yeah.
Ann is technically our staff accountant today. Before this audit, it will be
It
Zoe.
will be Zoe, right. So you might want to let them,
Add the phrase "for the term."
It's also above it in the paragraph as well,
Yeah.
3 lines above.
Good,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you. Yes, we'll do that. So I'm
Other-
talking to the auditors about doing the sit-down in May after Butch is back.
Okay. All right,
Since you're meeting first, if you want, you can have it on your regular Tuesday night meeting. You might start a little early,
mhm. Okay,
and then they would probably go before you.
that'd be fine.
Or, either way, if you warn, well, this is coming up on the next agenda item, but if you warn your special village meeting next month,
Mhm.
then it works out with a timeline for the 30 days, so you don't have to have an extra meeting. And May is fine to take care of those property tax questions that came in late.
Right.
Is this an auditing company that actually specializes in this?
They do municipal law and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. They're very good. A little too good.
A little too good. That's right.
Yeah, well, you kind of want that, don't you?
Yeah, kind of do. Any other questions on
Those are
this?
good, thank you. I did notice it, and then I
Do we need a motion for this, Bill?
Did.
yes,
We did that
We
already.
did the motion, we didn't do the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We have renewed the agreement with the
those
auditor
are changes, yes.
with the changes that are noted. Set the date for the special village meeting in
It'll be
May.
your regular meeting in May.
Yeah,
Oh.
But you'll actually sign the official order next month.
okay,
But I just wanted to know that you was, everybody was comfortable with that.
yeah. So this is to, because you look a little confused to me.
Yes.
We failed to warn in time those properties that want to be exempt from village taxes, so that could have been accomplished on a special article for town meeting day.
Right.
And instead, it has to be warned with enough time, and so we're rescheduling it for May.
So you can do, it's a voice vote at village meeting because the only Australian ballots authorized by the village voters is electing the trustees.
So this will be by vote.
This will be by voice vote regardless of their copying that says Australian ballot by petition. It doesn't matter. And you're putting it doesn't, it can't be because the voters didn't authorize Australian ballot.
Right, that's right. So it's that evening.
So I puzzled over that for a while, and that was the conclusion.
And can we have Beth send them notice to be present?
They're already aware.
They're aware, okay. Great.
We wanted to make sure that they knew that, because when they saw the warning, we wanted to make sure that they knew that we had that error and that we would be warning a special meeting to make sure that
Great.
so there was no concerns.
Okay. Great. All right. And next, Carrie, would you like to
Yeah, I just,
address the police department increase of foot patrols?
I think that we've talked about this several times before, and this is one of the citizen comments I get most frequently. The only police officers they know are Robbie and Joe. And so they really, many of them reminisce about the days when there was always an officer walking on the green. They knew every officer by name. Someone tells a story about, her son wouldn't buckle his seatbelt, and she looked on the green, and there was the police officer doing his rounds, and she said, Officer so-and-so, she knew him by name, and he came over and said, well, I'm going to arrest you if you don't buckle your seatbelt. And people, I think, really miss that level of intimacy with the police force, and it seems appropriate for such a small village in town that everyone should know their officers. So I would like for the trustees to make a request to see increased foot patrols. You really are ambassadors, and people enjoy knowing their officers.
We do a fair number, we did 425 at least foot patrols in 2018, approximately like 15 to 30 minutes each, focused mostly in the business district. Is there this area other than that to see us branch out to?
Around the green, and I think in front of the elementary school.
Okay.
But those are some areas that I know people would appreciate, physically seeing the cops walking around and saying hi and introducing themselves, and I think
Officer LeBlanc definitely does that and should get some credit that she walks into businesses, says hello. She's definitely forward and friendly.
She does, and she's made my kids know who she is because she's on Linden Hill a lot. So
I think Blue Cot does that.
I haven't seen
Isn't she also the truancy officer now?
Yes.
I'm sure my kids will know who she is eventually.
But it is something I hear with incredible regularity and frequency from villagers.
I hear it a lot too.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there couldn't be closer to 2 foot patrols a day.
We usually do one for day shift and one for afternoon shift.
When does the afternoon shift start?
2 p.m. So that being said, depending on the calls and whatnot, they won't happen every shift every day, but
Is that and go along with door checks? You still do door checks?
I think sometimes either or, but I like the idea of branching out around the elementary school and like Vale Field and on the green. I think we should and can easily incorporate that into our evening patrols.
Thank you.
Evening patrols, yeah.
I think evening makes more sense than during the day for around the elementary school, when in the evening there's people at Vale Field for sports or out, but during the day everyone's kind of in the school, or that'll be a lot of interaction during the day.
Sure, evening when activities are occurring
Right, yes.
would make sense.
Yeah.
I just think
Especially in the summer,
But
in springtime.
otherwise, yeah.
I just think that when it comes down to it, it just should be like, if you're not on a call, you should just be walking around the village. Is that what we're trying to get at?
So, I mean, I
Well,
want
trying
to
to
note
increase
that,
that.
I mean,
Right.
it's like, I'm all for foot patrols. I think they're a great piece of how people get to actually know their community and their law enforcement and have a sense of confidence in their law enforcement because they actually know who they are, and I'm all for that. I think it should be noted that some of the most important work we actually see from law enforcement officers is boring stuff that happens at a computer or on the phone with them tracking down casework, and they're not just show ponies to do that kind of stuff, and it's very hard if you are out there just saying hi to everyone. I mean, there's
It's a balance, absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely a balance.
And taking away from. And
I just want to note
foot
that
patrols
because
will take away from other, patrols for speed enforcement, commercial motor vehicle enforcement, And so we just need to balance that out, spending our time by field or the green when there's people around, and then on-board vehicle enforcement when traffic's heavy,
Or following up on casework.
and following up on casework when we have those complaints that we are investigating.
Well,
I definitely think, that, there's certainly a way to be strategic about it.
I agree
Yeah,
completely.
but we are such a small, we're a small village, really
And it does, studies generally show it makes communities safer.
safer.
yeah,
Thank you.
and I actually asked Officer LeBlanc, I said, because she comes into the store once in a while, and so I assume she comes into other stores, or other businesses as well. And I said, you might ask the proprietor or the people who are working there if they have any concerns. And see if there are any, make that kind of connection. It's just a nice way to connect, to let you know that our force is there, and if you have concerns, you can talk to them about it.
Okay.
Great. Okay, thank you. So moving on, I have a question on other business. Did we ever get the certificate of insurance from the Chamber of Commerce? Do we know? That
For what?
was promised for the whole string of
Okay.
permits that we approved in bulk.
Nice memory.
And they had promised to get it to us by the next meeting, which is tonight, and so they
Okay.
haven't, so maybe they could be notified.
I will do that myself.
Great, thank you, Phil. And does everyone know which part of the
No.
budget they are going to be?
That was gonna be my next question.
No.
Ward's gonna do it all as a send-off.
Congratulations.
I'm doing general government, I remember that.
I have mine written down in my binder, but I don't have
Well,
it here.
You have it written down? I
have
can't
police.
remember.
Here, guys.
And I know you have the police, you have,
Pass them down.
you have.
Does anybody need these?
I don't, I have some,
Carrie, do
but,
you-
I need one.
yeah,
Yeah, I could use one.
I
yeah.
have plenty of them.
Okay, so you've got, Carrie's doing the police. I'm doing general government. Carrie, do you remember who you were,
I mean, Ward.
or N-ward, I don't
Oh, I
know.
thought
I
Carrie.
don't know.
Oh, that Carrie.
Carrie, yeah,
Yeah, Carrie, for the record.
Carrie.
that's what I said.
So,
Okay, so we have board and agencies, which is Ward, actually. I've got the name
Yeah,
there.
there we are.
So Ward is board and agencies.
and you and Carrie are doing general? Is that what you said?
No, I'm doing general.
Okay. I'm sorry, I got confused.
Am I doing, did I get out with nothing?
Carrie is doing highway, village highway.
If you want
Carrie,
it.
you really get off easy.
Okay, great.
That's rebate, pay to town, pay to town. So you get to explain that. And Carrie has the village police department, and if you have any questions, Carrie,
I'll just call chief.
please ask them ahead of time before Tuesday night.
I get miscellaneous?
So I don't have,
I don't need to come.
no, you do need to come, of course you need to come.
You can do the
No, I do
police.
have you under miscellaneous, as a matter of fact, I see your name here.
Oh, great.
Capital reserve spending, loss repair expenses, and grant expense.
Great.
So you do get that, you have that page.
Okay.
I did find my notes there. There's your name right there.
And so we're doing this at our regular May meeting.
We're doing this, no,
No,
we're
next
doing
week.
this next week.
Next week.
This is special.
Oh, special.
This is this is regular annual village.
They have police.
Right.
Today is your special, you want to take up a couple questions about tax forgiveness for some nonprofits.
At 7 p.m.
You police.
And
What day next week? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
This is next week.
finally, I thought it would be nice if we took one of these annual reports, and if everybody wrote a little note on the first page to Gary Thulander.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll mail it to him.
Good. That's a good idea.
Thanks for-
While we're all here.
Thanks for selling the.
Nice picture, too.
Write whatever you want.
Take it from the front porch party, if you will.
All right, so let's move on to approval of minutes.
I'd make a motion to
Not see
approve.
any issues.
Is anybody doing highway?
Yes,
I am.
Okay, good.
Carrie is doing
I can
that.
explain how that actually works if you like.
Yeah, that's someone that's always wanting to know how that works, so. Where's the heck are my minutes? Oh, here it is. Okay, so first of all, we have January 21st, the budget workshop meeting. Do I have a motion on that?
Sorry, just to be clear, my motion's for both sets of minutes.
And I seconded that.
Okay, discussion.
Excellent, so it's
Okay.
really well done.
So, we're all done, but under discussion, are you interested in grammatical errors, Beth? Or
Wait,
not?
I can't. Second.
Interested them in what way?
In correcting
Interested in
minutes.
what way? I mean, sometimes I'm doing like 4 sets of minutes, depending on.
Oh, I know, I'm not criticizing,
Not
I
looking
want
for
to know if
excuses,
you were
it's like
interested
you actually
in...
want to know what they are.
I think, Beth, your answer is no. You're not interested. You just want, you know.
It
If you did ask
depends,
that
is it
question, it's a
commas?
leading
Because there's
question.
different rules for different
No,
commas.
sometimes,
That's subjective.
sometimes there are just things missing, like, Mr. Agan to approve the Maple Madness even on March 23rd. Oh, I meant to say event on March 23rd, if you add a T.
No,
That would be
it's
line
somebody
40
reading.
line 40 of the February
Big
12th
difference.
minutes.
Maybe he's a very
Snarky or
fairly
appropriate?
minded Maple Madness person.
Well, I will change that one to event.
Okay.
This is positive. This is supposed to
It's
be
funny
positive.
because, you know, 2 other people read these minutes besides myself.
And another one, this one's not grammatical, but again, it's a question. Did we ever receive the rules from Beth Finlayson?
Yes, we did receive the rules.
That's good, thank you. That just reminded me when I saw that in the minutes. Now, also, on line 97, Ms. Finlayson is open to any ideas. I think you want to drop the D.
I mean, it's a little more Shakespearean, I think,
Yeah.
with open.
Opened. And the Vermont Escape event, which was getting changed to the receipt of the proper application for the event on Elm Street. Just wondering if we received,
Oh, yes, we have.
That.
And, yep,
good.
all set.
Okay,
Got
just-
their certificate of insurance and everything.
Great.
And just so you guys know, I do believe there's going to be a permit for another car show. I believe it's going to be Porsches,
That's cool.
just so you know.
And so the permit will be coming forward for that?
Yeah, I got a little confused because I was like, wait.
That's not me.
I'm like,
That's
wait,
not the
it's
Zach-
not
that's
Joe.
not-
That's the Porsche Club.
So Joe, you don't want the complimentary Porsche.
That.
Let's put a pin in that.
Line 163, once it is fixed, F-I-X-E-D. And those are all the ones I found. Thank you. Any other discussion on the minutes? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. And
I'd make a motion to adjourn pending review of expense warrants.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 7:54.
We have plenty of-
54.
Thanks.